back to Uber Teen. I am outraged because since day one, when I started in 2015, all the changes that were bad and negative, at least I always relied on that. And I know Torsten used to be a big advocate to this too, that we would tell every teenager, no, hell no, get out of here. And the parents even would get on the phone and say, it's fine, just take him. And you're like, no, I'm not going to take him.
Yeah, it's just such a massive responsibility. These kids don't have their own credit cards. They don't really know the ins and outs of business. And here you are potentially driving, a 13 or 14-year-old. And I think David said it best. I mean, they're just not leaving anyone behind. They're chasing every single dollar, no matter how they can get it, right? And see an opportunity maybe to educate them very young. Look, the parents are going to pay at the end of the day, but the responsibility of the hard work and the lifting is going to be on the driver. And if they get into your car, I mean, do they truly respect the interior of your car, or is it just attitude all the way? You don't really know. I think it's a disaster. Am I surprised? No. I mean, everything they put out there for all the years was, absolutely no teenager, no one under 18. Parents were always using the service anyway for a lot of their kids, especially at schools and that, and then sort of pretending that they did not know. But the legalities and everything, you're going to run into a lot of legal issues if things go south, and obviously the driver will always be blamed. But I say to the drivers, don't just ignore it. Just like same with shared rides. Again, we're independent contractors. We should be able to make independent decisions. Here in California with your TCP, your transport charter permit, yeah, you have far more commercial insurance, etc., and it's specifically set up that you can take kids, right? So you're covered, but with the very little insurance coverage that the companies offer to have teenagers in your car, I mean, I don't think it was well thought through, and I think there's, I think they're going to abuse it. Carjackings are going to go up. Kids are going to find the loopholes and abuse them, and we're already seeing that happen. So.
Well, and I saw another batch of these articles coming out last week that this city went, DC went, Pittsburgh went. All these cities now are Uber teen friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my question. And we know that they're never really quite upfront at all with us, but do you honestly think that the insurance companies, first of all, we all know that when you get into a situation with Uber or Lyft, the first thing they do is try and weasel their way out of having any responsibility to it.
Correct.
They don't want to, even though they say you're insured, they find anything they can to not be involved. So if you start getting a minor who says that you touched them, or you get, I mean, in my opinion, your life is over.
Yeah. I mean, then you'd be wrongfully you could be wrongfully stamped as a pedophile, right? I mean, the wrongful deactivations are rampant. I had a 30-minute conversation with David Risher about a few topics. 10 minutes was dedicated to wrongful deactivations, and he agreed with me on the phone in the Zoom call that yes, a lot of riders are also just abusing the platform, trying to get a freebie, and we're going to put a process into place, which he promised, and I hope to see it happen, which would accelerate the process and turn a lot of those wrongful deactivations into drivers getting access to the platform. But what happens when a teenager pulls the same nonsense, right? What if a teenager wants a freebie and said, "Oh, mom, he started touching me," or whatever? And I mean, it's just not well thought through, and it would, like you're absolutely right, it would completely destroy a person's life. It would completely.
Do you have the right as a driver to say no to that?
Well, yeah.
But you do, but then at the back end, you're going to get punished again, I mean.
Yeah.
What I meant is not that. I meant, so you can't tell them, hey, I want to opt out of Uber Teen, right?
I think you can deselect it.
you can deselect it, and I would think that the majority of the drivers are hopefully deselecting it. Also like with the shared rides right now, Lyft abandoned shared or pool rides. Uber just bundled them together with UberX, right? Knowing that drivers would switch that off, right? Just like you could switch teens off. But at the end of the day, you go ahead and decline or cancel multiple teen requests or multiple shared requests, and then it goes into the punishment phase again. Timeouts, this threatening messages.
They say you're not punished, but you are.
You are, and
you are 100%.
like just that. If they hopefully they have some middle management executives listening to your show, and the message is very simple. Do what works. Don't use us as experiments, and do it for your own good. You want to stay out of the media as much as possible. These stories put you back in the media, and I don't know why they don't understand that concept. The media to them right now is extremely damaging. It influences the public.
Yeah.
And but the features that they're offering, the teens and the shared rides, just opens up a minefield. It's a minefield of problems. But again,
I think they saw a huge uptick, because I've looked into these stats, that 16-year-olds are not getting their driver's license anymore.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that till 17, 18 don't even care. They don't go get a license. So they saw this, I turned 16 that morning. I was at the DMV getting my license.
We're old school. We that driver's license meant everything to us, and owning a car meant everything. But also the thing is, the companies are also educating these kids to not go out and buy vehicles. Car manufacturers cannot be happy with those trends. There's a lot of teenagers who would just say, "Oh, dad's going to get me an Uber, or I'm going to get a Lyft." Right?
Yeah.
It's made it's so easy. So where is the incentive of going out and getting your driver's license and taking some responsibility in life, paying for the car, paying for your own gas, paying for your own insurance? It's all taken away from a child.
Well, I think you're going to get a lot of teenagers too who party and are wanting rides home. Who knows what happens to them on that ride home?
Yeah.
You don't know what they've been doing that night. They could have been doing drugs. They could have been drinking too much. They could be alcohol poisoned in your back seat. And if you tell me that's not a lawsuit, you're crazy.
And for a kid, knowing that the parents are paying it, hey, grab an Uber with me. It makes them look cool, right? If a 16-year-old guy is facilitating an Uber ride for a couple of young little teenage girls, right? So we haven't even scratched the surface, gentlemen. It's coming. There's a lot of accidents in the pipeline. There really are.